What's up everyone, welcome back to That's Geeky AF with myself AF, where we do all types of pop culture talk and analyzing comic book to live action adaptations, whether that is film, whether it's TV projects, you name it, I got you. And in the last video of the Fantastic Four, at the end I said that I will be looking back to all the characters that are on the JSA mural in the Hall of Justice. James Gunn has released high definition, high resolution images for those characters. So let's just get into it from the beginning. And I'm going to be working through all of them from the left to the right, and we'll go in the order of the pictures that he posted. Let's just get into the first image. And from the very first character, we have Sister Symmetry, who is actually Madame Xanadu. So who is Sister Symmetry? This incarnation of the character was created by James Michelini and Val Merrick in Doorway to Nightmare #1 back in 1978. The person who wears the cloak of Kyra becomes Sister Symmetry and gains the power of the Lord of Order. In this image, as you can see, there is a deck of cards, and that is more or less synonymous with Madame Xanadu. The next character who we see in this image is Silent Knight. Silent Knight was created by Robert Kanaya and Irv Novick, with the first appearance in The Brave and the Bold #1 way back in 1955. His alter ego is Brian Kent, who is a master swordsman and a medieval superhero from 6th century England. He lived in the time of King Arthur, he was around Merlin, and he is thought to be a past version of Carter Hall, who is also known as Hawkman. The next character is Exoristos, and on first glance I could tell that this was an Amazonian warrior, but after further digging I actually found out who this warrior was. Created by Paul Cornell and Diogenes Neves, with the first appearance in Demon Knights #1 in 2011. She is an exiled Amazon from Themyscira, and she once wielded the sword that Wonder Woman Diana Prince wields herself. The next one is Black Pirate, created by Sheldon Moldoff, with the first appearance in Action Comics #23 in April 1940. His name was John Valor. He was also a master swordsman like Silent Knight, and he was a pirate in the 16th century working on a commission from the English king. Later his grandson, also named John Valor, created by Grant Morrison and Yannick Paquette in Batman The Return of Bruce Wayne #3 in August 2010. He would also take up the mantle of Black Pirate in honor of his grandfather, but we'll have to find out and see which version this one in the DCU actually is. The next one is Miss Liberty, created by Ed Herron and Fred Ray in Tomahawk #81 in 1962. Her name is Bess Lynn, and she was a frontier nurse and a very staunch American patriot who was completely opposed to British tyranny. She also served on the time-displaced 5 Warriors from Forever team. The next one we have Whip Whirlwind, and on first glance, when watching this movie, I thought that was Jay Garrick, and I was almost certain that it was Jay Garrick until James Gunn posted this picture and said that it's not Jay Garrick. And then on further inspection, I actually found out that this is a different incarnation of Max Mercury, and we'll get to Max Mercury in a bit. This version is when Max Mercury entered the Speed Force for the very first time. He was the first person to deal with the Speed Force, and this is what happened when he dealt with the Speed Force for the very first time, and something went wrong. He ended up landing in the 1890s, and he took up the alias of Whip Whirlwind. The next one we have is Super Chief. He was created by Gardner Fox and Carmine Infantino, with the first appearance in All-Star Western #117 in 1961. It's a legacy name of an Iroquois warrior from the 15th century. His powers were granted by the Manitou Stone, but they only last for an hour at a time. The next one is Lazarus Lane, created by Robert Kanaya and Gray Morrow, with a first appearance in All-Star Western as well, Volume 2, Number 2 in 1970. He is a Wild West era hero, and he was made the spirit of vengeance by the Wise Owl and took on the moniker of El Diablo. However, the demon only takes over his body when he's asleep or he's unconscious. The next one is Chop Chop, created by Will Eisner and Chuck Udera, with the first appearance in Black Hawk number 108 in January 1957. His name is Wu Cheng, and he is a young Chinese pilot who served in the Black Hawk Squadron during World War II. The next one is Ghost of Flanders. It was created by Tony Bloomer and George Brenner in Hit Comics number 18 in 1941. His name is Rip Graves, and he faked his death in Flanders, which is a territory in Belgium, to become a superhero. He became a masked crime fighter during World War II, and he kills Nazis, just like our favorite GI robot from Creature Commandos. The next one we have is Sandman, created by Gardner Fox and Burt Christman, first appearing in New York's World Fair Comics number 1 in 1939, and he is not to be confused with Neil Gaiman's character that we currently see on the Netflix show. His name is Wesley Dodds, and he carries a gas gun and he wears a gas mask. The gas puts people to sleep, and he'd be able to decipher their plans and the intent while they are sleeping. The next one is Amazing Man, created by Roy Thomas and Jerry Ordway. He first appeared in All-Star Squadron number 23. His name is Will Everett. He was a promising young Olympian who actually took part in the 1936 Olympic Games, but he ended up gaining powers after being kidnapped, and then there was an explosion. But this was all orchestrated by Ultra Humanite. He can now mimic and absorb any material that he's in contact with. The next one is, and this one will be extremely familiar to everybody, especially people who watched the animated show Young Justice, and that is Zatanna. He was created by Fred Gardenier in Action Comics number 1, the very first issue that Superman is also present in, back in 1938. His name is Giovanni John Zatanna, and he's the father of Zatanna. Like his daughter, he can cast spells by speaking backwards, and he was a very essential part of the Justice Society of America. He was also initially a member of the All-Star Squadron. Now, that is the first mural done. James Gunn, as I said, released 2, so we'll start with the second one right now. And as I said, we'll be going from left to right, and the first character from the second mural is Liberty Bell. And Liberty was created by Don Cameron and Chuck Winter in Boy Commandos number 1 in 1942. She was a journalist called Libby Lawrence. By ringing the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia, she would activate her powers of strength, speed, and stamina. She is married to the speedster Johnny Quick, and they have a daughter, Jessie Chambers, who goes by the name Jessie Quick. And a lot of people who have watched the Flash show in the Arrowverse would recognize her character, played by Violet Bean. The next 2 heroes are Bullet Man and Bullet Girl. They were created by Bill Parker and John Small for Fawcett Comics, first appearing in Nickel Comics number 1 in 1940. They were husband and wife who shared the same power sets and abilities. Their names are James Barr and his wife Sue. They would use the gravity regulator helmet to deflect bullets and fight Nazis. And the next one, we'll go back to Whip Whirlwind, who is a different incarnation of this character, Max Mercury. He is a time-displaced speedster, and he is best known as being the mentor to Wally West, who was initially Kid Flash and now the current Flash, and then Impulse, Bart Allen from the future. The next 2 heroes are TNT and Dan the Dynamite. They were created by Mort Weisinger and first appeared in Star Spangled Comics number 7 in 1942. TNT's name is Thomas N. Thomas, and he has radioactive powers that generate heat energy, which he used against Nazis. He later becomes a member of the All-Star Squadron and the 7 Soldiers of Victory. Dan the Dynamite, he is Texas student and is ward, and he was also exposed to the exact same experiment. He was granted a similar set of abilities. The next one is Phantom Lady, created by Arthur Petty in Justice League of America number 107 in 1973. Her name is Sandra Knight, and she uses her black light ray to project black light, allowing her to create darkness and turn invisible. She was a member of the All-Star Squadron and the Freedom Fighters. The next one is Atomic Knight, created by Dan Mishkin in DC Comics Presents number 57 in 1983. His name is Gardner Goyle. He is a futuristic soldier and the leader of the Atomic Knights. He is tasked with restoring peace and order, and he wears an experimental radiation-resistant armor in the post-apocalyptic world. The next one is Freedom Beast, and this is the one that I'm extremely excited and happy for. He was created by Grant Morrison and Chaz Stewart, with the first appearance in Animal Man number 3 in 1989. His name is Dominic Ndawe. He was given powers by Bawana Beast and became his successor. And the reason why I am extremely excited about this character is the fact that I'm a South African myself. This character is South African, from South Africa, and just to see our culture and our roots being showed on a global scale within the DCU is just super exciting. The next one is Wildcat, created by Bill Finger and Erwin Hassan in Sensation Comics number 1 in 1942. His name is Ted Grant, and he was a part of the Justice Society of America. He was a former heavyweight boxing champion who moonlit as a superhero. The next one, and this one I picked out immediately, and that is Vibe, created by Jerry Conway and Chuck Patton in Justice League of America Annual number 2 in 1984. His name was Paco Ramon, and he was one of the first Latino superheroes, and he uses vibrational manipulation to defeat his foes. In the New 52, he was rebooted and renamed Cisco Ramon. That is the version that is currently existing in the comics right now, and it was the version that was portrayed in the Arrowverse show The Flash. The second last character is called Gunfire. This character was created by Len Wein and Steve Irwin in Deathstroke the Terminator Annual number 2 in 1983. His name is Andrew Van Horn, and his abilities allow him to turn anything into a gun, which is, I think that's pretty cool. The last one, and I don't know how he got onto this mural, but he's Maxwell Lord, and you can clearly see by that drawing that this is Sean Gunn. Needed to be in there for some reason. Maxwell Lord in the comic, created by Keith Giffen, J.M. DeMatteis, and Kevin Maguire in Justice League number 1 in 1987. He is a wealthy businessman, and he was responsible for creating Justice League International. In the DCU, he's the one who funds and who's formed the Justice Gang, who consists of Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and the Green Lantern Guy Gardner. Who knows why he's on there? Maybe it's because he owns the Hall of Justice and everything in it, so he should be pictured alongside all of these amazing heroes. And we'll see how he fits into the larger DCU moving forward. We already see a lot of Lord Tech items within Superman. So yeah, he's probably a big deal in this universe. But that's all the 26 characters, I think, is the amount that I counted. Let me know if you'd want me to do deep dives on any of these characters. These were obviously all high level explanations on who they are, when they were first introduced, and their respective creators. Let me know if you have anything to say about any of these characters in the comments below, if you are excited for any of them to be in the DCU, and who do you think is actually going to make their debut in the DCU, or were these just fun nods from James Gunn? I'm excited for all of them. I hope that we can see some form of them, whether it's in live action or in animated form. I think it would be really cool. But yeah, that's all from me. Like this video, share this video, drop a comment below. Let me know if there's anything else that you'd want me to cover, whether it's DC or Marvel. I will try my best to get to it. I'll try my best to respond to all the comments. And yeah, that's all from me. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay geeky AF.